Hi children, now we are going to discussing about chapter 18 Independent India, the first 30 years 1947-77. In the previous chapter, we saw how the Constitution of India made and a debate on Constituent Assembly and parliamentary form of government and a presidential type of government and social engineering we discussed. In this chapter, we will examine three interrelated issues, including how the Constitution and democracy worked, and how India resolved some key issues of nation building. The Indian Constitution was provided for the establishment of election system. This system is called Election Commission of India. The main duty of this commission to conduct the election in India, mainly for assembly elections, parliament elections, and president and vice president elections. Now we are going to discussing about the first general election after independence. The first general election to be held under the new constitution in 1952. These elections were immensely significant for Indian democracy. It represented Indians' determination to take the path of democracy after the independence. India adopted universal adult franchise, that means right to vote. Indian Constitution providing right to vote for all citizens who are completed 18 years, irrespective of any caste, religion, gender, or rich and poor, or education. But before independence, right to vote had only a few people in the country. Women in Switzerland got the right to vote only in 1971. The first elections were difficult because the people didn't have any political awareness, and a large section of the people did not know how to write and how to read. How are they going to indicate their choice? In some parts of the country, women were known by their father's or husband's name. They did not have any independent identity. If it changed, women were to have equal rights and take the country towards greater social equality. To overcome the problem of illiteracy, the Election Commission came up with a new idea of having symbols from everyday life. These symbols allotted to political parties and party candidates. In the first general election, each candidate had a separate ballot boxes with the symbol stuck outside. The voters only had to drop their ballot paper in the box of their choosing candidates. But today, now we are using EVM machines on the place of ballot boxes. There was a massive campaign to encourage the voters to go out and cast their votes, like today. Now we are going to discussing about description of elections in some areas. In districts where the Furda was strictly observed, there separately arranged polling booths with women staff. A Rajput woman arrived to the polling booth in a heavily covered chariot, whole body covered with velvet cloth. The only one part exposed to the public gaze, that is left forefinger. After the vote, indelible ink marked on the finger to prevent repeated voting. In some villages, mainly Assam, came the report of a tribal village whose members journeyed to the polling stations the day before voting was to take place. They spent the night dancing and singing around the large bonfires until sunup, when they marched to the polling station for voting. In some areas, many offerings were brought. Petitions professing loyalty or begging for food and cloth were sometimes found when ballot boxes were opened. Now we are going to discussing about one party dominance in political system. In independent India's first three general elections in 1952, 1957, 1962 and 1971, The Indian National Congress won with ultimate majority. No other parties was anyway near the Congress. Jawaharlal Nehru became the first Prime Minister of India. None of the other parties individually got more than 11% out of the votes polled. The Congress won over 70% of the seats by obtaining about 45% of the total votes. Look at the pie diagrams. This shows seat share of various political parties in 1952 general election, 1962 general elections. Here different political parties indicates different colors. In 1952 general election, that means first general election, Congress won 364 seats. In 1962 general election, Congress got 361 seats. In these two general elections indicates one party dominance in political system. In these two elections, Congress dominated. The Congress party formed the government in many of the states as well. This inaugurated what some observed called the Congress system. Why? Because almost all states under the Congress rule. At the same time, some people tie up with other parties. It's lead to the multi-party system. The other political parties gradually built themselves a new parties. Now we are going to discussing about demand for state reorganization. The first challenge of the new nation was the demand for reorganization of states on the basis of language. During the British period, the country was divided into presidencies, mainly Calcutta, Madras, Bombay. A largest part of the country was under the princely states. In each of these, people speaking many different languages were living together. For example, Madras presidency people speaking Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, Telugu, Gondi and Oriya languages. All people speaking a language and living in together and demanding to be organized under one state. Kannada speakers spread across the Madras, Mysore, Bombay and Hyderabad. Samyukta Maharashtra, Mahagujarati movement, they also demanding separate states on the basis of language. The state of Punjab for Sikhs will agreeing to these demands help to build the unity of the country. The partition of the country on the basis of religion had created a doubt and fears about the security and stability of India in the minds of the leadership. There was the fear that language reorganization would lead to breakup of the country. Hence, even though the Congress itself was organized on the linguistic line and had promised to restructure the country on these lines. The most important movement among all the movements, Telugu speaking people movement for a separate state for the Telugu speaking people from the Madras presidency. The Telugu speaking people who called upon the Congress to implement the world resolution in favor of linguistic state. Andhra Mahasabha had been active even during the British rule and was attempting to bring together Telugu speaking people in Madras presidency. This movement continued even after independence. The methods used including petitions, representation, street marches and hunger strikes, fastings. But the Congress didn't agree this demand. This party did badly in the Telugu speaking areas in the first election. But maximum seats went to parties who supported the linguistic movement. But Jawaharlal Nehru was not opposed to linguistic states. He only believed that this was not the time for it. Look at the picture. Jawaharlal Nehru inaugurating a road in early 1950s. Look at the map, a graph representation of various regions in the southern peninsula before state reorganization. This map entirely different from the present Indian map. Now we are going to discussing about the State Reorganization Act 1956. Sri Potti Sriramulu demanding the formation of a separate Telugu speaking state. He died after 58 days of fasting in December 1952. Consequently, the states of Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu were created. Andhra State formed on 1st October 1953 with the capital of Kurnool. In August 1953, the State Reorganization Commission SRC was appointed with Pajilali, K.M. Panikar and Rudinath Kunjuru as members for the formation of states on the basis of linguistic principles. On the basis of its report in 1956, the State Reorganization Act passed in the Parliament. This led to the creation of 14 states and 6 union territories. The Constituent Assembly had called for social, economic and political justice and equality of the status and opportunity. It put social and economic changes at the top of the agenda of modern India. That's why the Planning Commission set up in 1950 within a month of the inauguration of the new constitution. For Nehru, planning was not only good for economic but also good politics. The first 5-year plan focused on agriculture and stressed on the need for increasing food production and development of industries and social service. Look at the picture. It is a Bhakra Dam under construction during 1960s. This was the first multi-purpose dam after independence. Look at the one more picture. This is the image of adult literacy class from early decades. Discuss how the different ideas of development or changes in the society are reflected with these projects. The strategy favored by the Nehru and finally adopted, including 3 components, mainly land reforms, agricultural cooperative societies and local self-governments. 3 types of land reforms were leads to abolition of Jamindari system, tenancy reforms and land ceiling. The primary aim of all these were to ensure that the land went to the hands of the actual tillers and cooperative societies providing valuable inputs like seeds, manure, fertilizers, etc. Local self-government ensured that the land reforms were carried out. Jamindari system was abolished, but redistribution of the land to the landless did not take place. The rich and powerful in the rural areas continued to control most of the land. The Dalits continued to be landless, but they benefited from the abolition of the forced labor and abolition of untouchability. The first 5-year plan focused on the improving agriculture by building large dams like Bakarangal Dam to irrigate and produce electricity. Irrigation dam benefited both agriculture and industrial sector, but it was still not sufficient to meet the needs of the people. Multi-purpose dams useful for the irrigation, fishing and tourism and transport, water transport. That's why Government of India giving top priority for industries in second 5-year plan. The planning makers felt that for the country's progress should be depends on the industrial sector. Agricultural sector and industrial sector interdepends. Agricultural sector and industrial sector interdepends. If there is no industrial sector, there is no agricultural sector. Leaders gave top priority for industrial sector in second 5-year plans. In the coming class, we will discuss foreign policy and green revolution, role of regional parties in 370 articles Jammu and Kashmir, Indira Gandhi left turn, etc.